is the kia natural and is the pino dyed or?
No, that's natural.
Oh,
it's in its natural form. There's no boiling or.
Heka.
That's how it comes. When it's picked, it's green. So you've got to leave it out and it turns to gold.
Wow.
Yes. Tūmata kāhoki.
Tūmata kāhoki. This in Rangiatea.
Oh, the whole board was in this pattern. And all the boards inside Rangiatea. Pura whitu. But there was no gaps in the Tūmata kāhoki and Rangiatea was very close together like that. Yeah. It was all up here. I didn't put it on paper or anything. I just tooted around with the kia and that's what.
Wow. Why were you guys doing anything for Matariki in those days? Was Matariki, talked about much?
Not really, only when we started this and then they were hanging up on the wall.
We always got to start with, these sorts of tāma whai, and then, we just, and it was lucky that there was a really good picture of it online on the Te Papa collections. And so we were talking about that because we had Te Papa in the room with us on our working group, and so it made sense that there was a tāma there, and and it was about Matariki and those sorts of things. And so it was a real talking point for us. We kind of, all of us as a rōpū would have this picture up of, the photograph of this up, and then we'd be thinking about how we can interpret it or, find a way to reimagine parts of it for the tohu. Yeah. And we had to do 9 because there's 9 whetū now, so those are the 9 whetū. But we tried to take a similar. We tried to almost acknowledge all of those rules within tukutuku. There's sort of a. You've got your horizontals, and then you've got your sort of verticals, and you've got your overlap, and then under, and then over, and then under, and then over, and again this way. Under, over, under, with the whakaaro that, the 9 stars are, their own individuals with their own kōrero and their own characteristics, but, through that weave they're also kind of connected as a cluster. Yeah.
Whereas these stars here, it's the top one that's to the right, always goes to the right. And the left is under.
Marama. One of the other challenges for us was to, make all the stars feel like they're the same but different. And then, that's when we were looking at this whakaaro here of some being in kia and then some being in pino and they're different colours. The brightest white whetū is Matariki.
Whereas this is Matariki for this.
Yes.
Yeah. The brightest one.
The brightest. Yeah, so we're still doing the same thing as you, Whai, where we're going, which is the most important one. We had to spend a bit of time on the colours too, actually, but you wanted to, you want to know that those are Y related, and this one is whenua related and Rākau related, and so we were kind of going, Waiti being sort of shallower Y, and then Waitā kind of deeper oceans, and then Waipunarangi up in the air. Ururangi for our winds, and then Hiwai Te Rangi is our last star. And so you can sort of see how we start by looking at the ways that you guys would differentiate the whetū, and then we kind of try and work with that to figure out how to tell those different stories.